Hi, I'm Andrew Saul, and I'm a totally great guy.
And I'm Sam Gillespie, and I'm a totally better guy. And this is I'm Not Just Into Games?
No, I'm not just that into games.
You're not that into games.
No, I'm not.
Alright, Andy, welcome to another episode. You ready to play another game?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Alright, so the next game that we have coming up for you is Faster Than Light, or FTL.
You're a younger person.
Yes.
A younger person than me. Does FTL stand for anything else?
Not that I'm aware of. Why?
So there's FML, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not all hip with the kids' lingo these days myself.
Okay, no, we'll continue on.
Yeah. Alright, so Faster Than Light is a space roguelike game. You play the captain of a starship who has been tasked with sending word of a rebel fleet invasion to the Federation headquarters. During the course of the game, you'll have to navigate different star systems to create a pathway to get to your destination, and each star system has random encounters for you to deal with. Over the course of the game, you'll have to manage your crew, upgrade and repair your ship, and combat enemies. It's a fairly slow and thoughtful game, so you'll have plenty of time to evaluate your options. In the middle of combat encounters, you can even pause the game and give orders, so you never really rush to make a decision about what to do. Each star system gives you opportunities for new gear, money, or even new crew members, and also new opportunities for terrible things to happen to you. If your ship ever blows up or crashes, or all of your crew die, you'll lose the game and have to start over, maybe a little bit wiser about what to do. The stakes are really high each game, since any mistake can be costly. There's a lot to discover about the game, and it's full of really tough decisions that you'll need to make as the captain of the ship. It's a really interesting game about dealing with the uncertainty of piloting a ship in the face of unknowns. So check it out, Captain Andy, and I can't wait to hear all about how you lead your crew members to certain doom.
There seems like there's going to be a lot of stuff to collect.
Nope. Well, the only thing that you collect is money, which you sort of do to get along the way. And that's incidental. You don't have to go out of your way to get money necessarily.
So you know I'm just not that into games, right? Okay. So
I hear.
Initially, when you were talking before, all I could think of was, I'll be on the grind. But now that you say there's not so much stuff to collect, I'm more optimistic about the time I will spend with this game.
All right. Alright, so you've now played FTL. Can you give us your thoughts on it?
FTL, Faster Than Light. So the game says to you when you first start, I don't know if you remember when you first played it, Sam,
No,
but
not very well.
The game says to you, hey dude, this is pretty much what it says. Hey dude, this game's pretty complex. You better do the tutorial. And I thought, oh my God.
A tutorial? What? A novel idea for a video game.
No, but I mean, just to say to me, oh, here's an entertainment product, and before you start having fun, make sure you do a tutorial because there'll be a lot of work. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. This is just going to be so super awesome. It's going to be a lot of work. And the tutorial was. Seriously, I felt like I was using a piece of business software. and I just was like, oh, great. This is going to be the longest 2 hours of my entire life. And it was. The tutorial was fairly confusing, not really that clear what I should have been doing, like why I was really doing it, what the different things meant. And I thought, Sam, what have you got me into here? And I thought, well, you're probably laughing with glee, chuckling to yourself, because that's
what I do.
Yeah, it's what you think. Give Andrew this incredibly stupid exercise that some people call a game. However, I get into the main game and everything made sense.
Yep.
Like I died in the first two encounters, right? So I remember, so similar with my experience with Hotline Miami, I just didn't feel that bad about dying.
Yep.
I really didn't feel that bad about failing. And maybe because I failed in my first encounter with a ship, straight off the bat, I died. And I didn't understand why I died.
Yep.
A lot of things happened. and I could see them happening. And then I was dead. And I was like, I have no idea what happened. Like, there's a lot of things going on, and it feels like I'm not part of them. Anyway, let's start again. And the second time I died, I was a little clearer on what had happened.
Yep.
And then I just went through 5 star systems,
Wow.
one after the other. And I intuitively knew where everything... And I just could not believe this. This game is not graphically well done.
No.
It's... tons of tiny little moving parts, and like I told you about the tutorial, I just didn't know why they were pointing at things or making me do things in the tutorial. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
was-
whatever. I'll click this part of the screen. I have no idea why that's there. Mm-hmm. And then I just flew my starship through the system. It was fantastic. I was doing all these little things. I was buying in the shop, and I went into the shop and I thought, oh, here we go, mate. Yeah, look, menu upon menu. This is a good idea. This feels like, something that could be fun. And I just knew where to go. I don't know why I knew where to go, but I just did. I knew where to go, what to get, and then I was back in my starship, and then I went to this thing and I was like, oh, and there's something wrong. Oh, the doors. No one told me where the doors were. Oh, I better close the doors. Oh, I'll just go down here. How did I know where the doors were? I don't know. Whatever. Keep on moving. And yeah, I mean, I was just blown away by how easy and seamless an experience it was, how natural an experience it was. And I honestly didn't know that I knew what I knew when the things happened.
Yeah, there's a lot in the interface that's leaning on intuition. Like, you open the door that leads out to space, it's going to let space in.
Yeah.
You have a dude in that area when there's no space. When there's space in that room, it's not going to go well for him, etc., etc. So, yeah, a lot of it leans on that, like, intuition. And there's also the fact that you can pause, like, space battles so you can stop and think about that. Yeah.
How good is that?
Yeah.
I mean, like, the game even sort of, without being too overt, goes... He, sort of starts the battle in pause. It's like, and puts pause on the screen and goes, yeah,
you want a second?
You want to just, maybe pause this shit for a bit, because you might need to do a few things. And you can just line up your actions. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed that sort of that take a breath, line up your actions, now let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, there was still a bit of mystery there, though, like those ion, like, emitters or pulses. Even after I surrendered to, like, the ship had surrendered to me, or even a ship had blown up, and things still seemed to be going weird. Mm-hmm. So I just space jumped the hell out of there, right?
Yeah.
I was really so when I got to the end so I died about an hour and a half in, and I was like, well, I'm not going to start another mission. Like, I'm just going to do, like, my Steam credit, and I'll get out of here. But at that point, I was really... really impressed with how little story I'd been given, but how much story I had consumed. Mm-hmm. And, I go back to a game like Bastion, which is just ramming this story down my throat. Like,
you're not engaged with.
I don't want it. Like, I just don't. Like, don't. Oh, mate, I don't care. I don't care. You wrote this in your bedroom. Well done. Like, who cares? Like, it's bad enough that I have to do all this inane shit, but then I have to hear all this inane shit. I don't care how nice the narrator's voice is, right?
Yep.
And even a little bit in Hotline Miami, they were pretty good with keeping the story sparse, but still was like...
It was just unnecessary.
Yeah, text box. Here's another text box. Here's another text. But of course, you'll love this because, I love it. And my mum loves it. And I'm like, I don't. But I felt, in FTL, I felt like... I was going to say I felt like I was in the world, but just
no.
It's a real wanker thing to say.
Yeah,
I think people are wankers when I hear it, and I don't want those words to come out of my mouth. So instead, because I've got such a reputation as being not a wanker, and I don't want to spoil that. Yeah, no, I don't want to.
I'm sure you're doing a perfectly good job of maintaining that reputation.
Yeah,
Go on.
Thank you. Praise accepted. So. I don't want to say that I felt like I was in the world, but I felt like the world was real. And the reason for that is, in the real world, or at least a world that's trying to be real, no one does continual exposition. What is it?
Exposition.
Exposition, where it's like, oh, and It's that old trope of, and remember, Bob, such and such did this because such and such happened to them, or such and such,
Yeah.
They just people just explain as much as needs to be explained. And that happened in FTL all the time.
Yep.
It's like, hey, there's a ship over here at a stress single, or like, we're going to jump to this system, and just a reminder, the rock people, such and such, okay, done.
Yeah.
We're off. Or like a ship would rock up and they just speak to you. Like you would speak to someone like, yes, we both know we're in spaceships. We're in space. Like, that's not a thing we need to talk about.
We are both spacemen.
Yeah, we are both spacemen. We are ships, and our ships are level. Who gives a f? Like, you can see my ship.
Yeah.
Like, and he would just rock up to me and say, look, I don't want to fight. How about we just trade?
Yeah.
And, you go on your way, I'll go on mine.
Exactly. They really thought about the core experience of ending up in an area, and the most interesting thing about the game is making those decisions, right? Like, you don't have perfect information. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if these guys are legitimate or if they're actually a threat. You don't know what's going to happen if you go down to that planet. But you get enough information that you sort of need to know what you're doing and why, but you don't need to know everything. You just need to know enough to make a call.
Well, I found that very liberating because I could just make a decision and be happy with it because I had limited information.
Yep.
So I never felt like I was being dragged by the nose through a certain path.
Yep.
And like, oh no, kid, you got off the path. You shouldn't. No. Look, there's three. Like, there's a world to explore, but at any one time, you maybe have 2 ways, maybe 3 to go.
Yep.
You don't have a lot of information about each way, so just pick a direction and go with it. Like, just keep moving. And you never felt like you were being bashed over the head with, oh, well, you should have seen that stats, the third level of stats said that this was red, and, next time spend another half an hour with a spreadsheet trying to work out which way you're going to go. It's just like, go. Just go. Things will happen. Life's uncertain. How about we just go with it?
Like, they could have had on each of the choices what would happen if you were to choose that choice over the other one, and then it would become a game of optimizing decisions and trying to get it perfect. And that's not fun, right?
No, it's not. Well, that's then work.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. I must pick the right way to go, and I must do the analysis, and I must make everything right. And I'm like, well, I just spent a whole day doing that at work, so it's not something I would. And I think. Has this game been successful?
Yeah, it's done quite well.
Okay, so I can totally see why that is, because it's saying I could pick up every day, like it to fill in time, but I would be time like I came out of it feeling productive.
Yep.
I felt like I've been productive in the game. Yet I destroyed three spaceships and scattered their crew to the winds, of space.
You break some eggs to make an omelet.
Oh, well, some of them were aliens. They weren't even human.
Right,
so, I
that's
mean,
fine.
who cares?
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? But that's my racism coming back in.
This is because you're not a wanker, right?
No. Racist, not a wanker.
Not a wanker.
Yeah, it's important.
It's a small distinction.
Small distinction. Small things in life.
So the big question is, would you play this game again?
Yeah, no, definitely. I would play FTL again, I think. Yeah.
Well, that's our first hit, I think, really.
Really? I mean, like, Papers, Please?
You were quite critical of it.
There was some things to be critical of, but, you're right. I was very critical of Papers, Please. It was, it was a tough beat in many ways, but I was very proud of.
Proud.
Yeah. But I mean, I was very appreciative of what had been attempted and what had been done. Mm-hmm. But as we discussed at the time, it's not a game.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not?
See, I don't think Papers, Please is a game. I think it's a very good whatever it is, but it's not a game. Yeah. But yeah, FTL's the thing that I would probably go back and play again. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, that's 2 from 5, so then I'll call that a success. All right, so I think that rounds out the podcast for this week. Next week, we'll go check out one of my favorite games of all time.
I'll probably hate it.
Yeah, good. And I'll probably hate you.
And we're done. Almost 96.2% of this podcast is down to the producing. The quality.
Oh, absolutely.
The silky smoothness of the sound that comes through the listening device that someone's consuming this with is down to the audio production. And that audio production is done by a professional.
A professional you can trust.
Yeah. You don't want to give your audio to anyone. When you make sounds that are yours,
Mine?
yeah, or yours,
Or mine?
or mine,
Or yours.
or yours, yeah. When you make those sounds, they're special. They're special sounds, and
Capture them in a special way.
and you want them to be treated. You want them to be treated right, and the person to treat them right is
Ruben Abtrut.
of such musical acts as Ultrafeedy.
I don't believe in nothing no more. And I fail to see, fail to be, fail to me. So you can keep your cool cities, dot your I's and cross your T's. Cause I just don't believe, no I just don't believe. And I don't believe in nothing no more, no more. I'm in a great amount of pain. My life's going down the drain, but I can't take the blame. No, I can't take the blame. Thou shut off my desire, extinguishing the fire. I made myself a liar. My heart rate rises higher. Try to slow my pace. It is written on my face. Now that I've got the taste, been driven to disgrace. Don't believe in nothing no more. And I don't believe in nothing no more. Yeah. Keep on keeping on. Couldn't slow down if I wanted to. Keep on keeping on. Couldn't slow down if I wanted to. I don't believe in nothing no more. And I don't believe in nothing no more. I don't believe in nothing no more. And I don't believe in nothing no more.